Title: The Silent Rebel. In the heart of a crumbling city, where shadows stretched long and hope was a rare commodity, lived a man named Leo. He was a simple man, once full of dreams, but now worn down by the relentless grind of life. Leo worked as a janitor in the towering headquarters of a corporation known as Nextech, a monolith of power that owned nearly every aspect of the city's decaying infrastructure. Nextech was a name that inspired fear. It wasn't just a company, it was a regime. The corporation thrived on exploiting the poor, squeezing them for every last drop of life, and discarding them like used rags. Leo had seen it all: people evicted from their homes, families torn apart, and dreams crushed under the weight of Nextech's greed. He had long given up any notion of fighting back. After all, what could one poor man do against such a behemoth? One night, as Leo mopped the floors of Nextech's labyrinthine halls, he stumbled upon something odd: a small, dusty vault hidden behind a forgotten bookshelf in a rarely used office. The vault was covered in grime, its lock rusted and ancient. Curiosity got the better of him, and with a few careful tugs, the door creaked open. Inside was a single item, a leather-bound ledger, old and worn, but filled with records, account numbers, transactions, and, most importantly, evidence of Nextech's most heinous crimes. Leo's hands shook as he realized what he had found. This ledger was a goldmine, a blueprint of corruption that, in the right hands, could dismantle Nextech's empire. But how could he, a lowly janitor, use this information? The next day, as he walked to his small, dilapidated apartment, Leo was lost in thought. Suddenly, a sleek, black car pulled up beside him. The window rolled down, and a man dressed in a sharp suit and dark sunglasses gestured for him to get in. Leo hesitated. The man looked like trouble, but then again, his entire life was trouble. Against his better judgment, Leo got in. The man introduced himself as Mr. Black. He represented a group of underground activists, rebels who had long been working to undermine Nextech. They had eyes everywhere and knew of Leo's discovery. Mr. Black explained that the ledger was the key to accessing a hidden fortune, millions of dollars stashed away in offshore accounts. This money, once Nextech's lifeblood, could now become the hammer that shattered their empire. Leo was stunned. The idea of wealth had never crossed his mind. He had grown so accustomed to poverty that he couldn't even imagine what having money felt like. But this wasn't just about money, it was about justice. It was about giving the people of the city a fighting chance. And so, Leo agreed. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. With Mr. Black's guidance, Leo laundered the money through various shell companies, setting up a network of resources to aid those Nextech had oppressed. The wealth that once fueled the corporation's tyranny now funded community shelters, legal defenses, and public protests. The people, emboldened by their newfound support, began to rise. Nextech's executives, unaware of the rebellion brewing beneath them, continued their reign of terror, but cracks were beginning to show. Mysterious leaks to the press exposed their crimes, and lawsuits piled up, bleeding them dry. The corporation's stock plummeted, and the city buzzed with rumors of Nextech's impending downfall. But with power comes desperation. One evening, as Leo returned to his apartment, he found his door ajar. Inside, the place was ransacked. Papers were strewn everywhere, furniture overturned, and there, in the middle of it all, stood Mr. Black, beaten and bloodied. "They know," Mr. Black rasped, clutching his side. "They're coming for you, Leo." Before Leo could respond, the door burst open, and a group of armed men stormed in. They were Nextech's enforcers, merciless and cold. Leo barely had time to react before they grabbed him, dragging him away as Mr. Black tried to fight them off, only to be gunned down in cold blood. Leo was taken to Nextech's headquarters, where he was thrown into a dark, damp cell. Days passed in a blur of interrogation and beatings, but Leo refused to break. He knew that his work was done. The money was gone, scattered in a way that Nextech could never reclaim. The rebellion was in motion, and nothing could stop it. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Leo was dragged out of his cell and brought before the CEO of Nextech, a cold, calculating woman named Evelyn Crane. She looked at him with a mixture of contempt and curiosity. "You've cost us a great deal, Mr. Leo," she said, her voice icy. "But I want to know one thing, why? Why throw your life away for these people?" Leo, bruised and battered, managed a weak smile. "Because I'm not afraid of you anymore," he whispered. "And soon, neither will anyone else be." Evelyn narrowed her eyes and motioned to the guards. They dragged Leo away, and he knew his fate was sealed. But as he was led down the hall, he caught a glimpse of the city through a window. He saw the people gathering, the fires of rebellion burning bright in their eyes. And he knew, with a deep, unshakable certainty, that Nextech's days were numbered. The final chapter of Leo's life ended in that dark cell, but his story had only just begun. The people, inspired by his courage and fueled by Nextech's stolen wealth, rose up in defiance. They fought back, tearing down the walls of the corporation's empire brick by brick, until nothing remained but ashes. In the end, Leo became a symbol, a silent rebel who dared to stand against the darkness. And in his memory, the city began to heal, slowly but surely, as the people reclaimed what was rightfully theirs. But every now and then, when the wind howled through the empty streets, you could almost hear a whisper, a reminder that even the smallest spark could ignite a revolution.